Bonjour Year 7, welcome to lesson 12 of the spring term. Today with Miss Cooke you're going to be learning about ER, IR and RE verbs and revising them. At the end of the lesson you'll have your tri-weekly assessment, which is the second one of the spring term. Before you get started with the lesson, here's a list of the equipment that you're going to need. You'll need your French exercise book, a pen, a ruler and a different coloured pen or highlighter to correct your work. There are 3 Quizlet links which are all supplied on class charts, so you're just doing one activity on each of these as a revision. And then there's also a teacher made link for Tri-Weekly 2 which is on class charts. Please make sure you open the link to the teacher made assessment before you start your lesson just to save time. Pause to get that all ready now, press play to go on. Okay, please make sure that you upload all of your work onto class charts. Please remember that I need to see evidence of all of your work, including snapshots of your Quizlet activities. You don't need to do anything with the teacher made because it's direct on the website, so no need for a photo of that. But please make sure that you stick to the time that's indicated on each of the slides for each activity. Don't go over this. Please email me if you've got any questions at all about the lesson. And here's my email address. First of all, as always, write down the date in French for me, and that's on the top line on the right hand side, and the middle line I want you to write down the title in French and in English, verb en ER, IR, au présent, which is ER, IR and RE verbs in the present tense. Then on the following line, I'd like you to write down the objective, l'objectif, to do retrieval practice on ER, IR and RE verbs in the present tense. Pause to do that now and neatly underline your date and title. Press play when you're ready to move on. Your do now activity should take about 5 minutes. I want you to copy and complete the table below, conjugating the verb vendre to sell in the present tense. So you're going to write I sell, you sell singular, he sells, she sells, we sell, and you have you plural sells on there, vous vendez, and then I want you to write down they sell as well. Pause to do that now, press play when you're ready to get the answers. Okay, I sell is je vends, make sure you've got the S on the end. You singular sell is tu vends with an S on the end. He, she sells is il, elle vend with a D on the end. We sell, nous vendons, ONS. You had vous vendez, you plural sell, and then they sell is il or elle vendent with ENT on the end. I'm going to pass you over to Miss Cooke now to teach the rest of the lesson, and I look forward to seeing your assessment, and we'll have a feedback lesson on that on Thursday. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Okay, so now we're going to go through the 3 different activities that you need to do on Quizlet. So you've got this one, then you've got this Quizlet, and then you've got this Quizlet. So what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video and you're going to complete the 3 different Quizlets, and you're going to spend 5 minutes on each. And for each of the Quizlets, you're going to complete the right section, and then you're going to send me a screenshot of your score. So you don't need to worry about the test, you don't need to worry about the learn, you're just going to be completing the right section. So you're going to go onto class charts, you're going to open up your 3 different Quizlet links, and you're going to complete each of them in 5 minutes. So that's 15 minutes in total, because it's 5 times 3 Quizlets, so that's 15 minutes that you're going to spend, and you're going to complete only the right section. And once you've done that, you're going to upload a screenshot of your score onto class charts. So pause the video, spend 15 minutes doing this, and then come back to the lesson once you're done. Welcome back. So we've just been practicing our different verbs. We've been practicing verbs that end in ER, we've been practicing verbs that end in IR, and we've been practicing verbs that end in RE. For your practice exercise, you're going to be focusing on jouer, which is to play, choisir, which is to choose, and attendre, which is to wait. And you're going to translate only the verb into English. So for example, tu choisis ou choisis un restaurant. One ends in IS, one ends in IT. If it's tu, if it's you singular, what should be the verb ending? You spent that time on Quizlet, you should all know that if it's tu, that it ends in is, because it's tu choisis. So replace the ir with is for you singular. And you just need to translate the verb. So you don't need to, for example, in this sentence, you didn't have to say you choose a restaurant. You just had to translate the verb part, which is you choose. So you've got 6 sentences here. You've got il, je, elle, nous, tu, and vous. And you need to pick the correct verb endings for each of these verbs. So use the endings, use what you've learned in your Quizlet learnings, and use what you've got in your sentence builders from all of the different lessons, and use your knowledge organizer, and use all of your class notes. All of that together will help you to get full marks for this activity. So press pause, spend 5 minutes doing it, and then come back to check your answers. Okay, let's see what you came up with. So number 1 was ils attendent, they wait. So we know if it's il, if it's they, and it's a verb that ends in re, we get rid of the re and we replace it with ent. Je joue au foot, it ends in e. We know that verbs that end in er, if it's I, we replace the er with an e. 3, elle choisit, it, she chooses. And we know that it's it because we know that the verb endings for she or he or it is, we get rid of the ir and replace with it. 4, nous choisissons un restaurant. It's not, I know it was a bit tricky because they look quite similar, don't they? But it's choisissons, not choisissons. Nous choisissons is we choose. And we know that it's that because we know that the verb ending for we is, for verbs in ir, is I double S-O and S. 5, tu attends le train. Attends with DS, because if it's a verb that ends in re, we get rid of that re and replace it with ds. So you just replace it with the s. If it's vous jouez, so then we get, if it's a verb that ends in er, if it's you plural, then it gets replaced with ez. Okay, so check your answers for practice exercise 1. Make sure that everything was correct. Feel free to go back if you need to before doing grammar practice exercise 2. So for this one, you need to translate the following sentences into French using the correct form of perdre, to lose, and partir, to leave, and écouter, to listen. And you need to only write the French, so you don't need to write my English sentences. So I know these are new verbs, but they all follow the same rules as you've seen for all the verbs in RE, all the verbs in IR, and all the verbs in ER. So if you got full marks for the first practice exercise, you will get full marks for this one as well. And as always, you've got plenty of support. You've got your knowledge organizer, you've got your sentence builders, and you've got your lesson notes for this. So if we do the example together, if it's you singular leave tomorrow, and we know that partir is to leave, we know that it's a verb that ends in IR, so we know that we should replace the IR with an S. So it's tu pars demain. So if it's my friends and I lose on Saturdays, he loses, you plural listen to music on Mondays, you singular leave on Thursdays, I lose, she listens to music with her friends, and my friends leave on Fridays. Pause your video, complete the activity, and then come back in 10 minutes time to check your answers. Okay, let's see what you came up with. So number 1, my friends and I lose on Saturdays. Mes amis et moi perdons le samedi. Because we know that if it's RE, we replace the RE with an ONS for we, because my friends and I can be replaced with the pronoun we. He loses, il perd. You plural listen to music on Mondays. Vous écoutez de la musique le lundi. You singular leave on Thursdays. Tu pars le jeudi. I lose, je perds. She listens to music with her friends. Elle écoute de la musique avec ses amis. My friends leave on Fridays. Mes amis partent le vendredi. Those were your 7 sentences. So if we zoom in on them, if we look at them a little bit more closely, we know that for example, number 2, he loses, il perd. We know that we get rid of the re, and we just leave it with the d. If it's you plural, listen to music. If to listen is écouter, we know that verbs an er. For the you plural pronoun, you get rid of the er and you replace it with ez. For number 4, if it's you singular, leave. And if we know that to leave is partir, we get rid of the IR. So we get rid of the TIR and we replace it with S. And then if it's she listens to music, then it's écouter, we get rid of the ER and replace it with an E. And if it's my friends leave, we can replace my friends with they. So if it's they leave, then we know that the verb ending for verbs in IR for they is ENT. So that's why it's mes amis partent. Pause the video, check your answers, make any corrections, and then move on with your lesson. We're now going to do a little bit of writing. So I would like you to write a paragraph about your free time, and I would like you to make sure that you include the following. You're going to include 3 activities you do in your free time and on which day of the week. You're going to include who you do the activities with. So for example, I play football with my brother, I play tennis with my sister. So what you do, who you do it with, on which day of the week. So on Saturdays, I play chess. On Sundays, I finish my homework. 3 activities your family and friends do. So as we know in in French, it's really important that we talk about not just ourselves, but that we include other people. So talk about what your best friend does at the weekend. Does your best friend work online? Does your best friend play basketball? Or what your family does? Does your dad watch TV? Does your mum prepare dinner? Different things like that. And you need to include as well 3 opinions and reasons. So things like I like, I don't like, I hate, I love, j'aime, je n'aime pas, je déteste, j'adore. So a range of ones, positives and negatives. And to give reasons. C'est nul, it's rubbish. C'est amusant, it's fun. C'est ennuyeux, it's boring. And so on and so forth. Remember that you must always use an infinitive after your opinion phrases. So when you say something like j'adore, you know that it always is followed by a verb that ends in ER, IR, or RE. So we're going to look at my model paragraph. This is a paragraph that I wrote using this criteria. So we start with Salut, je m'appelle Mademoiselle Cooke et j'ai 20 ans. Hi, my name is Miss Cooke and I am 20 years old. Pendant mon temps libre, je joue au foot et je téléphone avec mes amis parce que c'est amusant. In my free time, I play football and I phone my friends because it is fun. Cependant, je n'aime pas travailler sur Internet avec ma sœur parce que c'est nul. However, I do not like to work online with my sister because it is rubbish. Le jeudi, je vends des bonbons avec ma mère, mais mon père attend le train. On Thursdays, I sell sweets with my mom, but my dad waits for the train. Le samedi, j'adore manger avec mes amis parce que c'est cool, mais mes parents regardent la télé chez moi et mon frère joue aux jeux vidéo. On Saturdays, I love to eat with my friends because it is cool, but my parents watch TV at home, chez moi at home, et mon frère joue aux jeux vidéo, and my brother plays video games. Finalement, le dimanche, je finis mes devoirs, mais je déteste finir mes devoirs parce que c'est ennuyeux. Finally, on Sundays, I finish my homework, but I hate to finish my homework because it is boring. So I've color-coded my text with the different things that you need to include. So I've color-coded in green the activities that your family and friends do, color-coded in red the different opinions, so things like I like, I love, I hate, and then the reasons, because it's fun, because it's rubbish, and so on. So I would like you to write this model paragraph in your book, and I would also like you to write underneath it your own paragraph talking about 3 activities you do, who you do the activities with, 3 activities your family and friends do, 3 opinions and reasons, and to remember to use the infinitive after your opinion phrases. So pause your video, spend 10 minutes doing this. Make sure that you check all of your spellings, that you check all of your verb endings. Make sure that you use, as I said, the model paragraph here. Make sure that you use all of your resources as always, sentence builders, knowledge organizer, class notes, and so on. But whatever you do, do not use Google Translate. Okay, so now that you spent 10 minutes doing that, you are now going to complete your tri-weekly assessment. So you're going to put all your learning materials to one side. You're going to click on the teacher made link on class charts. You're going to spend 15 minutes completing as many boxes as you can. And if you're finding it hard, you may want to use your exercise book. You'll receive an achievement point for completing your classwork and your tri-weekly assessment to the best of your ability. And please remember the following. Your tri-weekly will not be graded, but you will receive a score instead. Your teacher will look at your tri-weekly and use what the class has done overall as feedback for the next lesson. Your next lesson will be a live lesson giving feedback on your tri-weekly. So you can now start your tri-weekly assessment. So you need to pause the video and go onto class charts, and to access your tri-weekly assessment, to click on that teacher made link. And don't forget that once you've finished it, that you need to click on the I'm done button. Otherwise it won't submit the work and it will look as if you haven't actually done it. So make sure that you press that to ensure that you've actually submitted your work. And once you've submitted that, you also need to submit all of your work that you've done this lesson onto class charts.
Fantastic job today, Year 7. Please now make sure that you upload clear photos of all your classwork in your book and the Quizlet scores that you got onto class charts, so I can give you a very well-deserved achievement point. As I said, don't worry about the teacher-made assessment. I have access to that on the website, so there's no need for a photo of that. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.